Welcome everybody to Too Legit to Crit, a discussion show about tabletop role-playing games hosted by two men who deal an extra 2d12 disappointment damage. My name is John Santana.
And I'm still Justin. That hasn't changed.
I need
to back up a minute. You only deal 2d12 disappointment?
Only 2d12, yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Wish.
Yeah, I've put no
I have
striking
to
runes
buy
on
new
them.
dice.
Yeah, but you roll like shit, so...
It's true.
I probably do more with my 2d12 than you do with
Than I do with
6.
all of my dice, yeah. It's depressing because it's true. Oh.
So how have you been keeping?
Yeah, pretty good, man. I've been creating more stuff for my table, which I've got a lovely picture to send you, which I'm going to do now. I've been really good at keeping this one a secret again, which has been really hard for me.
If it's a picture of your penis, I'm going to be well pissed off.
It's not. That's coming later.
Oh.
But have a look on the old Discordia.
The Discordio.
Yeah, I've just sent you a lovely photo of some stuff I've made.
I'm going to have to look on Discord on my phone like a peasant.
But this is something, there's 3 in the photo. I'll be putting these up on the Facebook in a bit.
Okay, that is nice. So, I'm assuming dice trays, obviously.
Yes, dice trays, yeah.
They are circular dice trays, and around the edge it looks like you've done indentations for...
Yeah, for 2
all
full
your
sets of dice.
That is really cool.
Yeah, and my thought process on them, you can see in the picture, obviously I've got two black ones and 1 white one at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm going to be printing another one now, which will be a second white one. My thought process on it was, it'll just be a nice addition to just have on the table. So when I've got people around and playing, obviously behind my DM screen, I've already got a dice tower built into my DM screen. So I don't need one behind the DM screen. So then I've got 4 for out on the table for players.
I think that's a really cool idea.
Yeah, so I might make another 2 after that. So I have 6, so I'll have 3 of each. We'll see how it goes. But at the moment, I've only got 4 people at the table, so I don't need more than 4. And then, just a little bit of felt in the middle so the dice don't hurt themselves.
No, I really like that. I'm a big fan of the purple one.
Yeah, I thought you would be. That's my favourite too.
Yeah, it is very pretty.
Yeah, so I'll be posting that photo up onto the Facebook probably after this episode goes live.
Yeah, and I'll share it over to the Instagram.
Yep. So that's what I've been working on.
That's really cool.
And just a few little things for around the table and stuff. And I've started painting a bit more on the staff that I was working on that we discussed previously. So that's been progressing, but it's not ready for photos yet.
I was just about to ask about the stuff.
Yeah, it's still camera shy. But yeah, as soon as that's in a place where it's ready for photos, I'll take some and let you have a little gander.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you're doing. But yeah, definitely liking these dice trays.
3D printers are awesome.
I genuinely don't have the space or the reason that I don't have a reason to buy one, but I really want one, and that's not a good enough reason for me.
That's literally why I bought one. I've wanted one since they first came out, when I was I think I was still at college when the first 3D printers commercial ones came out, but they were $3,000 each or something stupid. And I was at college. I was like, it'll be a great thing to have one day, and then the price came down and down and down and down. And then, I bought my first one. It was a refurbished one that I bought for, 150 quid. And I was like, this is amazing. So I made loads of stuff with that. But the problem I had with it was just too small.
I have that problem all the time.
Yeah. But then I was chatting to a mutual friend of ours about 3D printers. This is the printer I really want to get. And I loaded up their website to show them the printer. And they're like, oh yeah, we're having a sale because it's our anniversary for being a company. We've been a company for X amount, I think it was 3 years or something, or it might have been, I can't remember how many years, but they've been a company for X amount of years. It's our anniversary, so we're having a big sale. Everything's half off. And I was like, I literally ordered a new credit card that had arrived that morning, and I was like, it'd be rude not to.
The stars kind of aligned on that one.
They really did. So I bought it.
Can't fault you for that.
And honestly, it's been a game changer for me because like just the little detail and stuff that I've been able to, like all the little scatter stuff that I've been able to create has been awesome. Like the little bridges and all that sort of stuff. It's been really cool.
I was talking to another mutual friend that we have about his 3D printer, and his logic was, every time I build a character, I have to have a mini of that character.
Yeah.
So I was spending a fucking fortune on Hero Forge. So the initial cost, it was quite a large cost for the one he has, but in the long run, it's going to save him money. Oh,
absolutely, and it's done the same for me because I not only print my characters, right? I'll print everybody at my tables. So all they have to do is go on somewhere like Hero Forge, or there's another one called Anvil, which is pretty good. There's a few sites like that, right, where you can design your own like mini. So they just go on there. All of them have an option where you can just buy the STL file, which is always a lot cheaper. So I think on Hero Forge it's like $7 or something to buy the STL file, as opposed to like the $40 to get it printed by them. So I'll buy the STL for mine. I'll get everybody at my table to buy the STL for theirs if they want one. I'll print them. It costs me like £1 to print all of them. So it's cost me like £8, but everybody at the table has a really nice mini that they can go and paint how they envision their character being. And they've designed the mini as well. So it's not like a off the shelf one that they're like, okay, this is my character, but imagine him different.
Yeah.
I think that's always the problem I've had in the past. It's like you buy like the prefab minis for like D&D or whatever, right? And you're like, oh yeah, so I'm playing an elf bard, so you buy an elf bard, but it's not your elf bard. It's not how you pictured it. Whereas doing it through like Hero Forge or something similar, it always is,
No, yeah, I mean, there's always that sort of suspension of disbelief, isn't there? I mean, I don't really mind because I'm happy to play with Lego pieces. It doesn't really bother me. But I think the closer you get to your actual character is when that starts to become a problem. So it's like, yeah, my character doesn't have a great sword. He's got a scythe.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were playing with gummy bears or something, you wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do completely get it. The problem is, in my opinion, I don't play that many characters.
No. Well, no, you play lots of characters. All of the NPCs.
Oh, mate, I do not have the time or energy to make models of every single one I create.
So that's what's really cool with like a lot of the resources for 3D printers that are out there, right? Is you can literally go on to like there's one of the websites I use, Thingiverse, right? You can go on and you can literally type in like D&D and you get pages and pages of like minis that people have made, like little scatter pieces like chests and bookshelves and all that sort of thing. You can literally go on there and they're all free to use. You can just download them and print them and use them in your game, and it doesn't cost you anything. So that's what, like, so for like your town guard, right? You can go on there and type in like D&D mini town guard, and you just like get scores of these things, and you can just find one that suits what you want and download it and print it.
I think that if I were hosting games at my place and I had the table and everything, then I'd have a justification.
Oh yeah. But most of your games are online. So
most of my games. But I have invested in the online aspect of it. Like I bought the Pathfinder Bestiary token artwork.
Yeah.
And they are glorious.
Yeah.
Because up until now, what I've been doing is finding the image, using token stamp, whatever.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been bad, but I bring in these professionally made tokens.
Yeah, exactly.
And the difference is just
Oh yeah,
just staggering. You zoom in as far as you want, and they do not lose resolution.
But I mean, I guess that's kind of the same thing, because obviously I play most of my games at the table, so I'm investing in that experience, and you play most of your games online, so you're investing in that experience. So in a way, it's the different player experience, really, I guess, and we're both just kind of investing to make our specific mode of play better all round.
That's it. And I mean, what I love about this hobby is technically
there's no wrong way to do it.
and also technically, you don't have to spend a dime.
No, you really don't.
You know, you don't have to spend anything. Anything you spend is to enhance your own and your players' sort of enjoyment out of it. Mm-hmm. You can play Pathfinder without spending any money whatsoever. Yeah. But it's fun to spend money on these things.
Of course it is. And like I say, it enhances the experience, and it makes it just better.
It does for me.
Better, yeah.
Certainly does for me. And speaking of spending money,
what have you spent money on now?
Yeah. Well, I've kickstarted Tales of the Valiant.
Oh, you did? Well, because I know you said you were going to, but you actually did it.
Yeah, it came up, and I was kind of watching it, and on the 22nd,
yeah,
I kind of woke up in a bit of a haze, got my iPad, and went to Tales of the Valiant website, and it still hadn't kickstarted. The fuck? They said the 22nd, the lying bastards. And later on, I decided to go back on it again. It had been up for 30 minutes and already blown through its fucking target.
I mean, to be fair, though, from what we read when we were reporting on it, it sounds awesome. And I'm not surprised. And I would like to take a little bit of credit for some of those pledges, even though we probably had nothing to do with it.
You can take credit. You can take credit for mine if you want.
I will.
I mean, just because they've actually got samples out as well.
Oh, nice.
You'll like it. It's very 5e.
Oh, really?
And
interesting.
So they bring out basically samplers of like 4 main classes. I think it's cleric, wizard, rogue, and fighter.
Okay.
And like from what I saw in the cleric, it was this is the cleric, this is what the cleric does, but then there's a footnote, and it's this is how our cleric is different to 5e's cleric.
So, okay, that's interesting.
I didn't see it with all the classes. I only saw it with the cleric, but then again, I didn't really delve too far into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out where it is just so I can kind of go over it. But anyway. But yes, I did notice that. But it seems interesting, and it is absolutely flying. Let me just go to back this project and see how they're doing. Because, I think they had a goal of maybe 80 grand at first.
Okay. That's not a very high goal.
No, it wasn't. According to this, it's saying 100 grand, but yeah, they blew through that. Yeah. That's still not a very high goal. It's not really. For Kickstarter, yeah. Oh, that's pretty good, though. But, well, I look forward to playing it once you have it. Yeah.
In your grubby little mitts.
Yeah, the one I've actually backed the one with the hardcover as well.
Ooh, fancy.
I'm getting physical with Tales of the Valiant.
Let's get physical. Sorry.
No, you almost had me joining in.
I know.
Yeah, I was starting to get my groove on and shit.
But I mean, so you mentioned 5e. I read something this week that was interesting to me. So, you know how we actually kind of touched on this last week, where you called the new 1D&D 6e? So yeah. It's not even called 1D&D anymore.
I know, I saw it.
Wizards were like, yeah, we're not going to call it 1D&D. What are you going to call it? We don't know.
Yeah, it was like, that was never meant to be the name. And it was like,
yeah, it was like,
you put it out as the name.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was probably one of those like, like the other thing we discussed, where like it was called Project Black Flag until it got its actual name.
Yeah.
Tales of the Valiant.
Which,
yeah, I think that might have been what it was. Is they were calling it 1D&D like behind closed doors, and it was never meant to go public. And somebody probably said it like in a in like an interview or something like that, and then they're like, well, fuck, we're gonna go with that now. And then, like, eventually they're like, right, it's getting a bit out of hand, guys. Let's,
And now they have no fucking clue what they're going to call it.
They're not a clue. It's brilliant. But you're not allowed to call it 1D&D. You're not allowed to call it 6E. That's all we know. Oh, mate. They need to make their mind up quick.
Oh, yes. Oh. Definitely. While we're on the topic of wizards...
Oh, God. What have they done now?
What do you think about the price hike?
I mean, I don't pay for anything that they put out, so it doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form. Because I have a lovely player at my table who pays for all the books on D&D Beyond, and I just use them there, so... It doesn't affect me in any way, shape, or form.
Don't let wizards hear you say that. Fucking Pinkerton's banging at your fucking door.
No, that's part of the 1D&D platform. The 1D&D, fucking, even I'm doing it now. The D&D Beyond platform is you can share.
What you mean? You mean the new edition?
Yeah, you can share the books that you own with players in your campaigns. It was mainly obviously designed so that GMs who had the books could share them to the campaign, so that the players could then use the book. A bit like you would do now. Like, if I went and bought a physical copy, right, and you came around my house to build characters for a campaign, I'm not going to be like, no, my book, go buy your fucking own. Like, I'm going to let you read the book. And D&D Beyond works that way as well. So if we're in a campaign together, you can share any content you own on D&D Beyond with anyone else in that campaign. Which is pretty good.
Well, obviously the news of the price increase landed, and... let's just say it was divisive.
No. You mean once again change in this hobby space divided
once again,
people?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right, mate. That does not sound right to me.
I mean, as a consumer and one that doesn't play D&D, I look at the price that they've put out, and I've gone, oof, that's a hefty tag.
Wait, what are the prices looking like?
$70. Now, I do believe $70 is hardcover and PDF.
Okay, so that's not too bad. Yeah,
I mean, kind of delving a bit deeper, the original price was $60, and it's been like that since 2014. So I think it's just a case of D&D is expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well, like because the whole point of them doing the digital and the hard copy is something that a lot of people, especially D&D Beyond users, have been asking for. Is if I buy the physical copy, can I have it on D&D Beyond as well? Now, it used to be just a flat no, because D&D Beyond was a separate company, right? But then when Wizards bought them, everyone was like, cool, does that mean I can put my books in now? And they were like, no. And this was kind of their solution to that, is any books going forward, when you buy the physical copy, you'll get the digital one as well. But obviously the digital one allows the sharing and all that sort of thing with people, even if you're not in the same county or country. So that might also be part of the reason for a little bit of that on the price.
And I think also they're obviously investing quite heavily in this whole unnamed D&D project.
Yes.
And with that comes a lot of digital play. There's a VTT involved.
Yes,
so
there is,
it is probably in Wizards' best interest to try
and bring those
encourage. Sort of encourage the market in a direction where more people will be playing digitally and more people will be playing online.
Absolutely, yeah.
The only thing for me, and this is a genuine question, is now the best time?
See, I personally probably would have done it with the release of whatever the latest and greatest of D&D is, whether that's formerly 1 D&D or the D&D version formerly known as 1. Or whatever that ends up looking like. Because obviously they've said numerous times, right, that I'm still going to call it 1 D&D until we have a different name for it. They've said previously that 1 D&D is not going to be a new edition of D&D, right? It's basically going to be a revision of 5e. So I personally would have said when they brought out those revised books, that would be the time to do it. Because then it kind of makes sense. Rather than just a random Tuesday, oh yeah, guys, it's more expensive now, good luck. It's just a bit...
Yeah, my thoughts are... Again, I'm very split with my thoughts on this one, because on the one hand, let's be honest, D&D, Wizards of the Coast, have not had the best PR over the past 4 or 5 months.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, just... I will pull you to one side and I'll tell you all about it.
Okay, cool.
So... Now, with this price hike, you might find that there's a lot of people that were maybe on the fence, that may have, not quite decided, and all of a sudden just kind of gone, oh no, fuck this, I'm going to go somewhere else. Yeah. That is one train of thought. The other train of thought is, this is the perfect time, because... How pissed off are people going to be? They're already fucked off.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So we may as well just in for a penny and in for a fucking pound.
We're already in the doghouse. Let's do it all.
Just in for a penny, in for a pound, and that's it. Those who are still with us after that fucking fiasco are still going to probably be with us after a price increase.
Yeah, I mean, I think as well. Like the really important thing is the people who the price increase is actually going to affect. Are the people like myself, right, who like having the physical copy on your bookshelf, but also want it on D&D Beyond, because that's where you build all your characters and that's where you do everything you do, right? Now, without this combination of getting the physical copy and then the digital copy on D&D Beyond, previously what you'd have to do is you pay your 60 quid for your physical copy, then you go into D&D Beyond and you pay your 60 quid again to get your digital copy. So in essence, the only people that it's really affecting, it's not actually a price hike, it's a price decrease.
If you're buying the bundle, yeah,
because previously, if you were like everybody who was buying both was spending 120 quid to get the physical and digital copy. Now you're spending 70. It's saving you 50 quid.
So, obviously, in the murky waters of the Twitter...
oh God!
That news has been received not very well, and
can't imagine Twitter reacting badly to anything like that's.
And there's been a lot of criticism towards Wizards of the Coast because of this, and one person who has actually turned round and defended Wizards was none other than Jason Bullman, who is the creative, who's like essentially the head of Paizo.
Yeah.
And he came out and he went, I'm about to release a 32-page module. It has cost me upwards of $2,500 to produce this, between artwork, between, all the hidden costs.
All the other bits and pieces.
It says, if I'm selling it at $9.99, I need to sell over 600 copies just to break even.
Yeah.
He goes, creating these products is not cheap.
Yeah.
So, the Wizards have had some support from unlikely sources. Probably people that are more involved with the development and publication of these products, rather than the...
Joe Blogs on the street.
Yeah. Who, whenever you raise prices... The amount of times in the service industry, if I was working somewhere and we'd knock the prices up and you'd get the whole,
Oh, that was £4 last week. It's like,
I'm
cool.
never
It's
coming
£5
back
this
here
week.
again. And you'd see him the following week. It's like, dude,
Yeah.
inflation
that
happens.
was always my favourite. That was always my favourite. I'll never shop here again. Cool, bye, see ya.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that bloke who basically puts out these scenarios and responds to them? Scott something. He's on Instagram and TikTok, and I'll send you some links. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, because, dude, like, some of the things that I've had from working in retail and stuff over the years was, oh my god, the arguments I've had, Jesus. I once had a 2-hour argument with a guy because the batteries in his remote went dead. I wish I was kidding. I really do. 2 hours of him just going, well, you should give me new batteries. Why? Why should I give you new batteries? You've had the TV for 7 years. I'm surprised they lasted that long.
There was and this was told to me, and I looked it up, and it's 100% true. There was a entertainment venue. To not really give anything away, I'm being purposely vague. An entertainment venue that closed down a few years ago, just at the beginning of COVID. And, you know, they put out this Facebook post going, blah, 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 due to, you know, whatever reasons.
Yeah.
We have to cease trading, etc., etc. Thank you for so many years of, you know, the usual.
The usual copy pasta of business closing down, yeah.
And there was one comment, and it was, does this mean I'm not going to get my birthday vouchers honoured?
That sounds about right.
A mate of mine who was working there at the time of the closure just told me about it, and I just had to go on their Facebook feed and have a look, and it is fucking glorious.
Oh my god.
I do not miss dealing with customers.
Yeah, same, dude. It's honestly, I hated it. I hated them. It made me hate people. It really did.
I hate people anyway.
It was perfect industry for you, really. You already hated people.
But I was really good. I'm really good with people, and I think that's why I stuck it for so long. I mean, if I think about it, what was it? 20 years of my life I was in that industry.
Yeah, it was about the same for me. I went from the age of 18 until I was like 30, 32. I was working in that sort of stuff, and yeah, it's mind-boggling when you look back at some of the shit that you used to put up with. Like, by far though, the worst people are drunk people.
Yeah, I've got.
Mate.
We will do another podcast.
We'll do another one for that.
We'll do a companion podcast where we just bitch about
drunk people.
and my hatred for, well, everyone. So another speaking, because we did mention like Kickstarters and whatnot.
Yes.
My Cypher backer kit has started to show signs of life.
Ooh.
I got an email through the other day kind of going, you can start downloading stuff. Here's the core rulebook. And just
so
waiting
what I'm hearing is we're going to have a session of that soon?
I've got a session of that tomorrow.
Ooh.
Yeah, my Monday game is going to have to be postponed because people's availability. However, 2 players can make it.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a Numenera adventure. And we tried it once and they really enjoyed it, so we're going to do that. If you are free, you are welcome to join in.
I'm trying to think if I'm free tomorrow. Maybe I'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah, let me know. You're going to be using a pre-gen and you're going to pick up the rules on the fly. But it is a really cool system. So
yeah, I'll have to have a look because I think I'm doing something, but it's one of those where, like, you know, like when you got just in the back of your mind, you're like, nope, you're doing something. It's like, what? Not telling you.
Yeah, when you get to my age, that just becomes an everyday thing. Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, no, that's really exciting though. That's starting to ship out now.
Yeah, starting to pay dividends. So
yeah.
So what else have I spent money? Oh yeah, the Jason Bullman thing. I spent money on that.
You spent money on Paizo stuff? That's so unlike you.
It's actually not Paizo stuff. because Jason Bullman, creates games for a living, and in his spare time, he creates games. So he's got a side project, and it's called Minotaur Games. He's the one he produced Hope Finder not long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic system, and he's now producing another system based on Pathfinder 2e, but it's his own setting called Eventide.
Okay.
So he kind of rolled out an introductory module, which, it was, what, £9?
That's not too bad.
Yeah, so I picked that up. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, spending money.
Yeah.
That's basically what I've been doing this week.
I have not been spending money because I don't have any left.
We should get this podcast on Patreon just to feed my addiction.
Just to feed me with filaments so I can make more shit.
Just to feed my need to get. Oh shit! Yeah, I also paid for the fucking Starfinder Humble Bundle.
Dude, Starfinder is awesome though.
It is, and if you are interested in picking it up, there is a Humble Bundle out now. It's got about 3 days left.
Yeah, I don't get paid. I get paid in 3 days, so I'm going to miss it.
Let me find out exactly how long it's got left.
Yeah.
It is, but
I do love Starfinder, man. It's such a fun game. It's such a cool concept as well. I love the whole just being in space thing.
It is really cool, and I need to start playing more of it. At the lodge, I'm going to probably start GMing a lot more Starfinder.
Yeah. Well, I mean, D&D, obviously, they recently released a sort of space edition to 5e, which is their Spelljammer books. And I've got them. They're sitting on my bookshelf, but I just haven't got a game for them yet. So they've just been sitting there gathering dust. But that's on my list.
Didn't that get released to quite mixed reviews?
Yes, which is why I want to play it, because what I've read, I really think it's cool, and the races as well that they've added are really cool. Although one of the races kind of makes one of those D&D discretion builds that you can do. No longer D&D discretion, DM discretion builds even. Where it's like, well, I guess kind of the rules work that way. With one of the new races they've added, but it just works.
Fair enough.
Which is Coffee Lock, which is a fun build. Because the biggest issue that Coffee Locks have is the way that they have to long rest. Because basically what a Coffee Lock does is it's a mixture of a sorcerer and warlock. So warlocks get their spell slots back on a short rest. Sorcerers on a short rest get their... what they can do on that short rest, essentially, is they can convert spell slots into sorcery points, and then convert sorcery points into spell slots. So what you do is, you do that, short rest, get your spell slots back, convert them into spell points, because obviously you're converting your warlock spell slots into sorcerer spell slots. And you can just rinse and repeat as long as you can stay awake. But obviously then you get into the things of, well, now you're going to get exhaustion levels, you're going to get this, so you've got to find ways around that. But one of the new races in the Spelljammer book, they don't sleep. It's literally in their core mechanics, they don't sleep. A long rest for them is they just spend an hour doing nothing, which is a short rest. And they get all the benefits of a long rest without taking a long rest. So, because the spell slots you've created as a sorcerer, they go away after a long rest, which is kind of the limitation on that build. But with this new race, it's no longer a limitation. Because every time you take that short rest to get your spell slots back, you're essentially getting the benefits of the long rest.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things in D&D in general, which just makes me think, did designers talk to each other at any point?
No.
Apparently not, just...
And I love it.
Here's my concept, and let's just roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah, pretty much. But no, there's also some really other cool concept for race as well. Like one of them's like an insect race. So they have 4 arms, and they're all functional. So you can actually wield 4 weapons. But in your non-primary arms, you can only wield light weapons because they're not as strong as your main arms. So it's cool things like that. So you can walk around like 4 rapiers.
Yeah, I mean,
You'd be the avatar of rapiers.
fair enough.
But yeah, like it's something that I really I bought the books when they came out, and I've not had a chance to play it yet, and it's been bugging me. So I need to get some players together for it.
Well, I mean, because Starfinder I don't have that much experience in. I've played through like a 3-book AP. I've run a couple of society scenarios. I haven't really focused on running it.
Yeah.
But there's a lot coming out for it that just really seems interesting. There's because this weekend's been Paizo Con.
Yeah.
So there's Paizo news coming out of every fucking orifice.
Yeah.
And you know, they've been talking what's it called? Starfinder Enhanced. Do you remember Pathfinder Unchained?
Rings a bell.
Pathfinder Unchained was a book that they brought out about halfway into Pathfinder First Edition's life. And it was a revision of a few of the classes.
Oh, so like one Pathfinder.
But it wasn't a new edition.
No, it wasn't a new edition.
But yeah, so they kind of similar to what the remaster's going to be, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So they brought out this Pathfinder Unchained, and it landed really well. Like, for example, the Rogue was always underwhelming until the Unchained Rogue came along. The same with the Unchained Barbarian. Then they fucked the Summoner for some reason.
Because Summoner was broken.
Yeah, I played an Unchained version, and I ruined that fucking game.
Yeah, Summoner was broken. I built one Summoner, I was like, oh, I only have to try to break this.
Yeah, the original Summoner was nasty.
It was so bad.
But the Unchained one was a lot more nerfed, was a lot more balanced.
Yeah.
But even so, I mean, I had an Eidolon with an AC of 45 or something stupid.
Fuck you.
But the worst part was when I dismissed the Eidolon and just started fucking spamming summons.
Yeah.
I could Zerg rush any fucking encounter. And it was great. So that was Unchained, but also there was like a host of new rules in Unchained. The whole 3-action economy first appeared in Unchained.
Oh, okay.
But it just never kind of caught on.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that's what they're doing with Starfinder Enhanced. They're kind of revising a lot of things, not bringing out a new edition.
No
new editions here.
No new editions.
No new editions. And
this is not the new edition you were looking for.
No, this is not the one. But yeah, so people are getting really excited for that. But the thing about what's released in Starfinder news in regards to Paizo Con is an AP, an adventure path, about mechs.
Ooh.
About piloting mechs. And the little kid inside me who was obsessed with fucking Voltron is going, yay!
Yeah. Okay. I might have to give that a whirl.
Yes, I think I'm going to have to start picking up more Starfinder duties at the lodge going forward.
Starfinder is really fun, but I think for me, though, when it comes to a space game, I still default to Stars Without Number. And I don't know why. It's so fun.
I've never played that, but for me, the default space game would be Traveller.
Okay, I haven't played that.
Traveller has probably one of the most interesting character creation mechanics that I've encountered. You can die during character creation.
I love it.
Because you have a life path.
Yeah.
So you basically select your class, you select all your selections, but then you can optionally kind of go, right, what age is this person going to be? Okay, he's going to be in his 20s. Right, okay, roll for your life path. And you roll that, and events happen.
Yeah.
Oh, so at some point you studied to become a doctor. And then once that's done, you've got the choice of, you can stop here,
Or keep going.
Or you can keep going, making your character older.
Yeah.
And then you roll again. And then you roll again. I ended up bringing like a middle-aged doctor who was a fucking millionaire.
Love it.
Who just everything went right for him during his life.
You see, for me though, if it involves rolling, I'd be like, no, let's make him 20. Okay, roll for your life plan. Oh, you died in a house fire at the age of 16.
Your character was a stillborn.
Yeah. Honestly, that's the luck I would have. Oh, it's dude. Like I hate that when it comes to rolling for those kind of things. Because again, the way I roll, I will roll the worst possible option at all times. Which
is always fun to make you roll for stats.
Yeah, I know.
I always enjoy it.
Oddly enough, stats I'm normally pretty good at. Rolling for stats is fine. I always get decent stats. It's everything beyond that. The game's like, we're going to give you a really cool, powerful character. Cool. Is he going to be useful? No.
Nope.
But what about, like, this... Like, I've got 20 and, like, 3 stats. Yep. Well, can I roll those really well? Nope. You're going to roll ones. The gods of tabletop games fucked me.
But it is fun. At least it's fun for your GM.
Yeah, it's fun for you guys. Not so fun for me.
So, other stuff that's come out from Paizo Con, obviously a lot more Pathfinder involved.
Mm-hmm.
They've discussed the remaster, obviously.
Yeah.
They've revealed the coloured versions of like the player core and the GM core. They're very pretty. They are pretty. Yeah.
Nice.
They've also previewed Rage of Elements, which is going to introduce the Kineticist to Pathfinder 2nd Edition.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you ever encountered one in 1st Edition.
I did not, no.
It was one of those classes that came along and immediately became popular.
Okay.
You know, it's not quite a caster, but you control elements similar to Avatar, The Last Airbender.
Okay.
So you can pick fire, earth, water, air, sort of thing. And they are pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty interesting, because I was literally I'm rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender at the moment as it goes, and it was an episode with Uncle Iroh in it, and I just was sitting there thinking to myself, wouldn't that be a really fun character to play as like an Uncle Iroh type figure who's just full of wisdomness. As I say that, I realise I'm probably not the one that should be bringing this character to life. But
more than the actual player, yes.
Yes, absolutely. But, you know, and just hitting people with those, like, words of wisdom that, like, at the time, they're like, what the fuck does that even mean? But then 3 weeks later, they're like, oh, that's what he meant.
I can see you just spamming ChatGPT with words of wisdom and just seeing what it produces.
Exactly that.
Other things that they've kind of mentioned about the remaster. This one I found really interesting. Versatile heritages. They're going to bring in the Nephilim, and that is to basically distance themselves from Aasimar and Tiefling.
Yeah.
So instead of picking either Aasimar or Tiefling, you're going to be a Nephilim. But then the flavour that you add to that is going to vary.
Oh, that's cool.
I like it.
Yeah, that's really cool. I like that. I like that a lot, actually.
And yeah, a lot of other stuff. I haven't really dissected all the news, but there's so much to go through, and that'll probably be this week's task. It's always exciting when there's a lot of, like, when there's a con on, because there's always so much good stuff that comes out of it. And yeah, it's always really interesting to see what they're doing, you know. Yeah, definitely. I think that the whole OGL may have accelerated Paizo's plans, because it does feel like a lot of these reveals were meant to happen at Paizo Con. Yeah.
But they've had to do it sooner.
Oh, it's just been wise to do it sooner.
Yeah.
You know, when your main competitor kind of stumbles a tiny bit, it's like, here we go.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's the perfect time to do it because you are going to have people that are alienated by stuff like that, and if you go, well, there's always this option, it just it can give them that gentle nudge to go and discover a system that they have made. I mean, they've obviously would have heard about, but maybe not considered playing in the past or something like that.
Yeah, there's been a bunch of other stuff that's kind of caught my attention this week as well.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we talked about Dreams and Machines that we kind of got excited about?
Yes.
They have now released audio, or they are releasing, should I say, a 5-part audio which kind of introduces you to the world.
Okay.
I started listening to a bit just before recording, so I haven't really got into it. It does seem like an audio narrative.
Yeah.
They're currently on part 2, so if you go to dreamsandmachines.com, you'll be able to start downloading and listening to it, which I will probably be doing tonight.
Yeah, no, that sounds good.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that system. I think
that's ticked a lot of boxes for both of us, that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna kickstart that fucker when it comes out. Not that Modiphius need me to kickstart anything, but
no.
Always happy to help.
You're gonna.
I'm gonna. After all that fucking backwards and forwards we had the other day, I'm not certain about Kickstarters. I'm a bit on the fence.
This week you're just like, I'm kickstarting everything. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and also Critical Role have released a quick start for their new system.
Ooh, yeah, that was an interesting one. I did catch a glimpse of that, but I haven't actually had a proper look at it.
Nor have I, and the main reason being I'm a bit antagonistic towards Critical Role. I don't like it, and
yeah, no, that's fair.
But it does kind of raise a query for me, in the sense that Critical Role has always, ever since they started performing as a show, has always been 5e.
Yes.
Then, obviously, they've branched out into other systems for other shows, but their main flagship has always been 5e.
Yes.
And they've released books for 5e, etc., etc. So I was always under the assumption that it was a very solid sort of working relationship going on there. But now they're releasing not one, but 2 new systems designed by themselves. So it's going to be... I'll have to talk to friends of mine who are fans of it and just kind of go, yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, I think it's probably an element of to try and reach a wider audience rather than just the 5e people. Because obviously, if you don't like 5e as a system, right, which there are people out there like yourself who aren't big fans of the system, right, you're not going to really be interested to sit down for 4 hours to watch people play 5e.
I kind of beg to differ because I do listen to the Adventure Zone.
Yeah, but that's... Yeah, okay.
And that's 5e. It's not the system that put me off Critical Role.
Well, no, not yourself, but maybe others, wouldn't particularly want to sit down and listen to 4 hours of a system they don't like, right?
Quite possibly.
So it could be an attempt to maybe capture a few more, or a bit of a wider audience with a system that isn't, doesn't have the divisive reputation in the community already, because it is very much people either play 5e or Pathfinder, or like people do tend to kind of stick to whatever their core system is. I think is a safe way of saying that. Like for me, I started in Pathfinder, but then I started playing 5e. I really enjoyed 5e, and I've stuck with 5e since. Yourself, you start with Pathfinder, you kind of just stuck with Pathfinder all through. And I think, no matter what systems we experiment with, we still always come back to our safety system, right? And I think, like, for me, I would struggle to listen to a podcast, not podcast, that's the wrong, like a playthrough of a system that I wasn't a fan of, because I would find myself spending a lot of time while they were playing just going, well, that's a stupid rule, why does it work that way? It works this way in my system. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it could just be an attempt to negate that.
I think it's probably a bit more basic than that. I just think it is
just a
wise... No, I think it's just a wise business move.
Yeah.
I mean, regardless of my feelings towards Critical Role, it is huge. The podcasts and the actual plays that I consume don't hold a candle to the following that it's got. So,
no.
It's a case of, okay, so right now we are publishing for this other company that will take a chunk of our profits.
Yeah.
What if we did our own?
Yeah.
Which that the moment that book hits, it's going to sell out.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because of the rabid fans.
Just because of the fans. Yeah. No, yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, that also is a very, very good business idea. Because rather than taking 50% of something, you're taking 100% of the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is always better.
Well, 100% is always better than 50.
Yeah. Unless it's 100% and nothing.
Boom.
That's my wise words for today. I'm all out. I'm done. We're gonna go lie down now.
I did see something about the D&D publishing schedule.
Oh?
Yeah, basically I've got a list of... Yeah, so in August, they're bringing out Glory of the Giants.
Ooh.
Followed by the practically complete Guide to Dragons. Oh, no, on the same day. Guide to Dragons and Glory of Giants are coming out.
Interesting.
In September, you've got Phandelver and Below, the Shattered Obelisk.
The Dragons book is interesting to me because they've recently released a book about that, like, made changes to the dragons and stuff in the system, because they had Fizzbands. I say recently. In reality, it was probably like a year or two ago now. But
yeah,
in the world of D&D, that's pretty recent. So I'll be intrigued to see what they do differently to the dragons in that book.
Yeah, going on to October, you've got Planescape, Adventures in the Multiverse.
Ooh.
Nope, sorry, that's not the actual fucking title. Apparently it's Sigil in the Outlands. I don't know, that the cover that they've put up is different to the title that they've added.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. They're not very good at naming shit.
No, yeah.
They need to take a leaf out of, Tales of the Valiant. Just... The OGL
Weren't you bitching about the name change last week?
I'm going to correct that. Because this has to stay on record. I said from the get-go, Tales of the Valiant is a fucking awesome name. What I was bitching about was the fact that
Black Flag Friday.
Black Flag Friday was fucking touch.
Oh.
And they made it Valiant Friday or
Valiant
something
Friday
stupid
instead.
like that.
Yeah, Valiant Fridays.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's going to wind me up again. I'm going to stop now. Alright, so in November they've got the Book of Many Things.
Ooh. Is that like the Deck of Many Things?
I don't know, because there's no actual explanation. There's just pictures and words underneath them. And the words are very vague.
That sounds about right.
Then in 2024, you've obviously got your revised core rulebooks.
Yes.
Along with a Vecna storyline.
Ooh.
And then
That'll be interesting.
And then in 2025, you've got Red Wizard's storyline.
Okay.
Means fuck all to me.
Means fuck all to me.
Yeah. I mean, Vecna, the name rings a bell from Stranger Things. That's about it.
Yeah, it was also a boss in the Critical Role campaigns.
Yeah,
Vecna's been around for eons.
He's a staple, isn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But no, that's really cool. I'm looking forward to that. There's some there that I'm interested in, like I said, because like with the Dragons book, they've recently redone Dragons. So the fact that they're redoing them again is odd or curious. Or is this book just going to undo the changes they made in the last book? But yeah, we fucked up there.
Well, to be honest, I don't think Wizards really give a fuck.
No, they don't.
So that was it. I don't think I've got anything else. I've not seen anything else D&D related, to be honest. Nothing.
I think their big news is that they've decided to scrap the name.
Yeah, which is, I don't know. Whenever a company does anything, and it's not just Wizards of the Coast, I'm always kind of waiting for the other shoe, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know, I don't particularly trust press releases. And again, it's not just Wizards, it's every fucking company that exists. I just kind of wait around and let's see what happens. Let's see where they're really going with this. This is something that cropped up on my feed.
Mm-hmm.
And it's touted as news, and I've got no fucking clue why. But I thought it might be interesting to bring it up here. And it was on CBR.com. And it was Dungeons and Dragons DM tries to kill a PC for not, quote unquote, fitting the setting.
Okay.
And yeah, this wasn't a Facebook thing. This wasn't someone bitching into a face. This was actually on CBR.com. So Dungeons and Dragons DM attempts to kill a player character's warlock with a curse because they don't fit the campaign setting. So the reason I kind of picked it, the reason I kind of saw it and made a note of it was because a couple of weeks ago we were talking about arsehole GMs.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's an element of that though that's also a bit of a dickheadish player, because like if there's a campaign setting, right, and there's an overarching theme that everyone else is actually adhering to by the sounds of it, and you're just going to be that dickhead who's like, nah, do my own thing, that's kind of a dickhead move as well. Yeah,
I think I'd need to hear both sides.
Yeah,
but you know, in pure journalistic integrity, they've only got one side here, so
yeah, of course,
we can't really speak to that. But it was Reddit user took to the D&D subreddit, asking other D&D fans whether they were being paranoid. Their level 5 warlock had been cursed. In order to remove the curse, the DM told them they had to find a specific god to cure them. However, the warlock suffered an increasing DC every time they cast a spell and suffered 6d10 damage. It feels like I'm being intentionally targeted because I ruined an encounter he had. So apparently the DM was confronted, and the DM admitted that he had targeted the player, saying it was due to not fitting their D&D campaign setting.
Okay.
But again, it's one of those things we're only hearing one side of it, to be honest.
Yeah, because I mean, that's the thing, right? So the setting, just, I mean, again, depends how many players are at the table, but if it's like a 5 or 6 player table, right, and 5 other people have managed to fit this setting, it's obviously quite clear what that setting is, or it was communicated at least. Because otherwise everyone wouldn't fit the setting, because if, you know, nobody's going to... 5 players at a table aren't going to randomly all create characters in the same style accidentally, right?
Yeah.
That'd be really rare.
But, I mean, that's fair enough, but...
Oh yeah, I still think he handled it like a dick.
Yeah, he's handled it like a proper knob, to be honest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I have been accused of targeting player characters before.
Yeah, you have.
But that's just
never me actually, because you've never killed any of my characters. So
yeah, no, I've been accused of it, but it's maybe you should check your tactics and shitty rolls, to be honest.
Yeah, well, that's why I never accused anybody of anything, because any character I've had died was because of my own stupidity or my own shitty rolls. I'm aware of this.
Yeah, a combination of both.
Normally the shitty rolls. That's normally what it comes down to, because like when my cleric in the campaign I'm playing in at the moment, his tester session that we had to introduce a couple of characters and stuff like that, our DM decided to throw us against something that a cleric should be very, very, very good at fighting, right? Some wraiths. Bread and butter for a cleric. Unless they fail the saving throw that he's got advantage and proficiency in. Guess what I did?
I'm guessing you didn't succeed.
No, I rolled 2 nat 1s.
That just doesn't surprise me.
So yeah, like he gave me this encounter to make my cleric shine, and my cleric just went, "Ah, ghost!" So yeah, I mean, you know, I think definitely though, it sounds like neither of them handled that situation correctly.
No, just talk it out for fuck's sake.
Yeah. B, and I'm going to say this word very lightly because I don't like calling myself one. Be an adult.
Justin, you adult, you.
Don't. Hey, that's rude, dude.
You are so grown up, Justin.
I will slap you, I swear to God. I know where you live.
You getting hair in strange places. Oh yeah, the last thing I'm probably going to spend money on tonight. Pathfinder Nexus has finally released the beta of their character creation.
Oh, okay.
Thing. So, Pathfinder Nexus is, I think, a bunch of the original devs from D&D Beyond. Mm-hmm. They went ahead and created Demiplane, which is an attempt of a D&D Beyond type system, but for multiple role-playing games. So the Pathfinder one's called Pathfinder Nexus. I haven't invested yet, but I've been really, really tempted to. So I think tonight might be the night that I actually.
They finally got you. They finally got you.
Yeah, it's gonna cost me a small fucking fortune to get everything I've got onto Nexus, but I figure I can do it bit by bit. And just anything new that comes out, because you get the Nexus version and you get the PDF in Paizo as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to buy the Paizo PDF regardless, so I may as well pay a bit more and get them both.
Yeah.
And the books in Nexus are presented very, very gloriously. You know, easier to read, easier to link.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what I like about D&D Beyond as well, because it's the same sort of thing, right? So, like, if I wanted to look up a specific weapon and stuff, they've literally got a database of all of the magic weapons and magic artifacts and all that sort of thing. So rather than having to try and go, oh, fuck, what book was that in? Like, I could just type in, like, this item, and it pulls it up. And then I can add it to my character sheet as well, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen D&D Beyond. I've not really delved too deep, but it is
played around. Yeah,
you know, it is good at what it does, and
it is. Yeah,
it helped open up the hobby for a lot of people.
Yes, definitely, especially with during lockdown and stuff as well.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Pathfinder Nexus, and yeah, I think that's gonna.
Tonight's the night.
Yeah, tonight's the night. I'm going to lose my Pathfinder Nexus virginity.
Oh, it's a special night.
It is a special night. I hope it doesn't disappoint. And I hope it's not over too quickly. Which...
Oh, it will be.
It will be.
Yeah, it will be.
So, should we take a trip to the couch? Should we go to Couch's corner?
Yeah, let's go have a seat on the couch.
And let's go see...
What he's got for us today.
Yeah, see his attempt at getting us to fight this week.
Yes.
Okay, so Couch, thanks for your support, Couch. In regards to role playing in any system, do you find that trying to play a truly evil or truly good character to be a challenge? And in brackets, I understand the new rules for some systems are removing this mechanic so the roleplay then becomes your own. On the flip side, how do you deal with a truly good/evil role player? Example, planning city approach, encounter approach. As you know, they will try something that isn't just combat sometimes.
I mean, I've never had a problem role playing an evil character. Truly good characters, I sometimes struggle with. Because there's always that little voice in my head that's like, yeah, but you could do it. So I struggle with truly good characters. Truly evil characters, I find a lot easier to roleplay because you don't have to be truly evil all the time, right? It's just at a moment that benefits you greatest.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, like true evil don't even like if you take some of the worst evil that's ever existed in the world, there was still good that came out of them on occasion.
I'm going to be careful with what we say, but yeah, carry on.
No, I am being very careful what I say. But like there was at some point something good that came from what happened, right? So you can go and save the kid from, the ogre that took him, right? But if you kill the ogre that you didn't necessarily have to kill just so you could go back there later and get all this stuff, that's still pretty evil thing to do, because if the ogre wasn't there and you wait around to kill him, you don't have to do that.
Yeah, I think a lot of the problem, and Couch actually did highlight it in the question, that it comes down to the alignment system.
Yeah.
You create your character, you give him an alignment, and you play your character, and not that doesn't always sync up with the alignment. Case in point, a game I ran, the Skulls and Shackles game I ran. Guess who was playing the evil character? That was Couch.
Oh.
Yeah. Couch was playing an evil...
That was after I left him.
Possibly? No, he was there from the beginning.
Was he?
Yeah. His character was an evil character. And he played it brilliantly. He did play it brilliantly,
yeah,
but...
I would agree, because I didn't even realise.
But further into the campaign, and this was after you left, kind of when we veered off and I began my homebrew with that campaign.
Yeah. He
made some choices. I kind of purposely gave him some ethical choices.
Yeah.
And I didn't make it obvious, but I presented him with scenarios that would force him to choose. And some choices he made, I had a discussion with him afterwards and said, I think we're going to change your alignment.
Yeah.
We're going to have a shift because you made this decision. That was not a chaotic evil choice.
Yeah.
So I said, might bump you up to maybe neutral evil or even lawful evil, because he did have a code.
He's still following a code, yeah.
And I think it all depends on the player. Because whatever action I would do as a character, I would have to be able to justify it.
Yeah.
Even if that action was quote unquote evil, I'd actually find a way to make it logical, at least to have an argument. The problem is you do get some players that evil for them means an absolute.
Yeah.
So you go in and you meet the friendly halfling bartender. I stab him. It's like, you're evil, you're not fucking stupid.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to is more because I mean, I've taken part in an evil campaign. We played a 20th level evil campaign, which is where I had that monk that won a tavern.
Yeah.
Because we were 20th level, and we went into this town, and obviously, being 20th level, we were ridiculously overpowered because we're basically, gods almost at that point, right? And this town was having like it was like a combat tournament. So my monk was like, "Yeah, I could win that," and somebody was like, "No, you can't." He was like, "Yeah, I could win it. I can win it while drinking." And they're like, "No, you can't." He was aware of the drunken fish monk, so of course he fucking could. Yeah. So he entered just to prove a point, and then he killed like everyone that entered, died by his hand. And then when they after he won, they were like, "Oh my god, you're so strong! Can you go and do this for us?" And he just was like, "Nah, I'm going back to the pub." Because there was no need. He didn't have there's no purpose for him to go out and do what they were asking him to do, right? It didn't benefit him, so he wasn't going to fucking do it. But then they offered him the tavern, and he was like, "I'll do it for the tavern."
Yeah, that's it. It's, you can justify an evil character, but you need to be able to justify why they are doing what they're doing.
Exactly.
Why are they trying to save the world? What benefit to them has it got?
Yeah, because that's what it comes down to, is evil characters are going to do something that would benefit them, not the greater good, or not the town, or not, if it doesn't benefit them, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, it is all about justification, and
yeah,
I kind of agree with you, and I would probably have more trouble playing a lawful good character than like a chaotic evil.
I've tried. I've tried. I struggled.
I would struggle with that because I'm a very shades of grey type person.
Same.
So, there are certain things that a lawful good character, and I'd kind of go, really?
Well, I think the prime example that I had for it was we were looking to interrogate someone, and they weren't cooperating with the interrogation. So we were like, well, we could, take the interrogation a little bit further. And the lawful good paladin that was with us was like, no. And we were like, no, you go get some supplies, okay, and don't come back for an hour.
Yeah, do some busy work. Just go for it.
Yeah, and he complied with that. I was like, no, but you know what we're doing. So is that lawful good? You still know what we're doing, just because you're not partaking, you're not in the room when we do it. That's like if you knew that there was a dirty cop, but you didn't do anything about it.
Yeah,
you're just as bad.
You're turning a blind eye. You're making yourself complicit.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's
where I'd struggle with it.
And I think a lot of that does come down to the alignment system the way it is.
It does.
And I think the changes that are going to happen in Pathfinder, I think will deal with a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where, if you are a follower of a god, you've got quite specific anathemas and edicts that you kind of have to follow. And case in point, they actually previewed some of the edicts and anathemas for some of for an ancestry, just to kind of give people an idea of what it's going to look like. And the example that they brought out was the dwarf. So it was basically, popular edicts would be create art with beauty and utility, hunt the enemies of your people, keep your clan dagger close. And anathemas would be leave an activity or promise uncompleted, forsake your family. But even that, they kind of go on to say, this is a guideline.
Yeah, you can come up with your own.
Come up with your own sort of motivations. And I think that is going to be far more effective than your traditional lawful good to chaotic evil.
Yeah, well, I think as well, because even D&D 5e, right, to a degree, they've got the alignment chart, but then in your character building, you also do things like you put in things like your bonds, your ideals, your flaws, and all that sort of thing. And it just feels like sometimes the the flaws that you put in don't line up with the alignment you've chosen and stuff like that. And it's just like, So I've never been a big fan of alignment charts as a whole. I've been fairly open about that over the years because I think that your alignment is very fluid anyway.
Yeah.
Because nobody is Johnny Law 100% of the time.
No, I agree. I completely agree. And when you do, when you do have a player at your table, like I had with Couch, when you do kind of plan, and I'm going to use the term encounters, but it doesn't necessarily mean just combat, but counters or challenges.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily plan any different.
Yeah.
But what I do kind of prepare for are consequences.
Yes.
So, if a truly evil character in a moment that's meant to be diplomatic kind of goes off the rails, then there are going to be consequences, You become outlaws in that particular town. People are looking for you. They send people after you.
Yeah.
So, like any sort of character choice, there has to be consequence. There has to be... You have to show how your choices, the player's choices as characters affects the world around them.
Yeah, I think that's exactly it. That's exactly what I'd say is the choice reflected in the world. Because if you don't have that, then there's no real consequence, and you can just do whatever you want. And at that point, what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. I think Scott was very permissive with us in our first game because we did some. We did some wild shit. Yeah, we did, and yeah, he was very permissive. Probably because we were all new players, but so many years GMing, and I've kind of seen just how permissive he was, and it's like I would not put up with that shit. No,
the secret chat that we had that he wasn't in.
Because the GM didn't speak giant. That was the whole fucking logic.
Yeah, because we all spoke giant. He doesn't speak giant, so he can't read it.
Yeah, bless him. Good old Scott. We'll have to get him on again sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
To slag us off. But we definitely need to get Couch on.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, people need to meet Couch.
Yes.
And he can come on and he can ask us his question in person. I'll start reaching out to him and see when he's available.
Oh, I can go get him. He literally lives across the road.
That is a fair point. You guys live very close to each other. Just go knock on his door.
I can literally go get him.
What are you up to?
Prick.
Right, come round to mine. Get another microphone set up and... Alright, so I do believe that's about all we've got time for.
I believe you are correct, sir.
I think it's, I've enjoyed myself. Me too. It's been awesome chatting to you, as always.
I would agree with that. It has been awesome chatting to me.
Do you wanna tell the people where they can find you on the interwebs?
I shall tell them. So I can be found at Just an Accurate TV over on Twitch and on the Instagrams and on the YouTubes. And that is where I reside online, and obviously within our own Facebook group. You can find me there as well now.
Yeah. As for me, you can find me at Natural Juan on most of the social media sites, Twitter, Instagram, Mastodon. I'm always on there posting shit, trying to annoy people, but that's just me in a nutshell. I want to thank everyone for tuning in and once again taking time out of your busy days just to go ahead and listen to us. If you like what you hear, please leave us a rating, leave us a comment, give us some feedback. Any ratings we get is just going to help us grow and help us reach more people. If you are in the South End area, southeast of southeast of England in Essex. There is a lodge meet at Gamers Nexus in Hadley next weekend. We've got a couple of games running, which should be quite interesting. Feel free to find us on Warhorn and sign up. Other than that, I just want to thank everyone. Thank you, Justin, for spending some time with me. Thank you, Couch, for writing
another great question. Yeah.
And thank you to everyone for listening. Good night.